Demons outfit. You must be so proud of the boys tonight.
Oh, so proud. They're a great outfit. I really do respect Melbourne. And, yeah, far out. I actually can't even concentrate right now. The crowd's gone absolutely bonkers, which we love, so it's good.
You've set an AFL, VFL record with the crowd. How important are these guys on game day for you?
Well, they're a 19th man. I mean, we bring them along for the ride, and you can hear them right now. You heard them at the start of the game, in the middle of the game, and it's a serious credit to them. We love all our supporters very much.
Your physicality, we love it about you. You bring it week in, week out. But the incident with Gus Brayshaw, talk us through that moment.
Yeah, I guess I don't want to say too much, but it's a footy act. I came forward, I jumped to smother the ball, and yeah, unfortunately, I just got him on the way down. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but it's all love. I absolutely love that guy to bits. So yeah, it's shattering what happened. Does
it make you nervous as players? Obviously, in finals, you know what's to come, but when incidences like that happen, it is quite stressful, isn't it?
It is stressful, but you sort of got to move on. It's a bloody intense game. It requires a lot mentally and also physically. So that's why we're built for this. Yeah, it's finals.
You're a machine, and we absolutely love the way you go about it.
Thanks, guys.
Well done.
Thanks.
Pretty classy response there from Brayden Maynard to the really tough question about that incident.
Yeah, I think we all agree it was a footy act, and he spoke about the love with Angus Brayshaw. They played together at Hampton Rovers Juniors, they played at Sandy Dragons together, so they are good friends. They've played together, and we saw that when Brayshaw was getting on the stretcher. Maynard went over, almost like he gave him a kiss on the cheek, so they are close. So, I mean, there was certainly no intent, and I know there'll be plenty spoken about it, but I think we all agree on the panel here, that was an unfortunate football act.
And there is Nick Dacos. He'd be feeling very relieved that he's got another week to prepare, get his body right, and hopefully launch into a big preliminary final.
Well, they were gearing up for him to play next week if he was needed. So now he gets an extra week, as you say. He's got a fortnight. He's smiling. I mean, he's pumped for the team winning, but I reckon he's also pumped deep down because he thinks, geez, I've got another fortnight here to get myself absolutely cherry ripe, and then I can add another dimension to this team going forward.
I feel for Melbourne a little bit with the Brayshaw situation because it was almost like they were one midfielder or one spark player down all night. You know, Petrarca had his issues in the first half, couldn't get his hands on the ball. Oliver really didn't have a lot of impact early. They needed one more cog in that wheel in the middle of the ground. He was unsighted, obviously, Brayshaw, for pretty much all night through concussion. So I feel for Melbourne in a 7-point loss. Hey, but that's finals footy.
Another home final here at the G. The Pies Army will be here. I mean, they're going to be hard to stop.
It's interesting, isn't it? They were overwhelming tonight, and that's something that any team that plays Collingwood's going to have to deal with. It must be difficult because we heard them here firsthand. It is incredibly
They're still
hard.
here.
Yep.
They're still here.
Made you want to barrack for Collingwood, didn't it, to be part of it? But,
yep.
I mean, imagine trying to get a preliminary final ticket, Jason. They're going to be as rare as hen's teeth across Melbourne. If they make a grand final, the city will come alive.
Well, our man of the match, with thanks to Ford Mustang Mach-E, is the man David King put on the agenda. Bobby Hill, he was superb. 3 goals, 13 disposals. Look at that tackle. He was everywhere.
Well, he had 6 scoring involvements. I mean, when you look at Collingwood have only scored the 15 times, so they have 6, most of them early. He was a constant thorn in the side of the back 6 for Melbourne, and I think it leaves some trauma. What are you doing with your speed across half-pack now? Because they were shown up tonight. It was all done at ground level in the forward half. Just little slip plays like that. Just getting 2 metres goal side at the right time. Out-crumbing, out-reading, and laying big tackles. Just his ability to put speed on the game. I thought he was significant tonight. It's the best game that he's played, no doubt.
And what I loved about his game, he did it when it mattered in that first quarter. When the heat was on, he was having as much influence as anyone with his forward pressure and his ability to set up scores and kick a couple himself. So, I mean, it's a wonderful performance, and he's become such an asset for this Collingwood side.
A great story, a great pickup he's been for the Collingwood Football Club, Jace.
Well, you've got to target the types of players that you need to recruit, and they did. They found one. I mean, we enjoyed watching Cyril Rioli play for Hawthorn for many years. He might have 10 or 12 possessions, but the danger that he causes up forward in the minds of the opposition, the ability to hit the scoreboard, but also some defensive pressure. We saw that from Bobby tonight. He laid 3 or 4 really good tackles that kept possession where they wanted it to be, and then he had that scoreboard impact, obviously. So I thought the overall impact he had on the game was huge tonight.
Quality, not quantity, especially in big finals. Jace, you're going to take us inside the Zero Lab. Darcy Moore, there were so many times he was able to spoil the ball, and we're like, where did he come from?
And there are a couple in the last quarter. This was a big one. The ball comes in, you'll see it here. there's a high floater, and it looks like Tom McDonald's going to take a chest mark. And he just tracks it, and he gets there. And he forces a big spoil, and he keeps his feet, and he follows it up, and then he runs back with the flight of the ball here. And this is one that might have been shepherded through for a goal or a mark to slip, and he's just good enough to get there running with the flight and create that spoil. And they're the little moments that have a massive influence on what happens on the scoreboard.
Is that closing speed, or is that just a want to will himself to the contest?
It's both. He's got great closing speed, but we also know he's desperate for the contest. He leads by example. Got to love the way he plays.
69 inside 50s to 37
Yeah.
in favour of Melbourne.
You shouldn't win. You shouldn't win.
Phenomenal difference for Collingwood defenders to hold up.
In fact, it's the highest differential in a losing final, plus 32
Ever.
inside 50s ever. And the quarter four inside 50s alone, 20 for the Dees. It was a barrage.
Yeah, I think you got to look at the type of inside 50s though. I mean, they're those in and out repeat type inside 50s, which most teams can defend reasonably well. I think Collingwood had an all-time night with their back six. They were terrific.
And you've got to give credit to Craig McRae. He made the tough call to drop John Noble. Yep. And you've got to say, well, that worked because the defenders that they had selected held up. The Mason Cox selection, I thought he was enormous in that first quarter, made a big influence. But you're right. I mean, we'll talk about Melbourne a bit later, but Simon Goodwin, we touch on it, speaks about your vulnerabilities get exposed in finals. And their vulnerabilities, again, to get high inside 50s but not be able to convert has cost them a win tonight.
Back into the rooms because Brad Johnson has tracked down our man of the match, Bobby Hill. Jono.
Well, Bobby, how does it feel right now, mate?
Yeah, it's good. Still soaking it in. Obviously, got the family here, and know how it was obviously a great game, and they put it to us, and yeah, we ended up getting the chocolate, so it was good.
Your first quarter, you set them alight. It was a great start to the game.
Yeah, it was. I think it was just full credit to all the boys getting backing me in, and that's off my defence and the way I play and why I'm in the team, I guess, and I get the lick of the ball after, so it's good.
You show great spirit. You really try and galvanise the forward line.
Yeah, it's we got a great forward line with a great bunch of boys as well, and I think the chemistry we have and the trust, and it's good, and to play with them as well, it's perfect.
Seems like a complete buy-in from the group. They're right across the ground. There's that energy, picking the player up, your teammate up off the ground, all the little things that matter.
Yeah, that's what we pride our game on, and everyone's. It's our brotherhood we have, and it's wouldn't change for a thing.
Were you feeling the pressure in the last quarter?
Yeah, it was. Obviously Melbourne, full credit to them. They're a great team, and again, full credit to us as well to get over the line and get the win.
How's it feel going into a prelim final?
Yeah, it's good. I haven't really soaked it in again, but I think these next couple of days will be rest up and get the body right, and spend some time with my little man at home, so it'll be good.
Bobby, enjoy the break and good luck in the prelim.
No, thank you.
Well done, man. Great stuff.
Who smiles bigger, do you think? Brad Johnson or Bobby Hill?
It's hard to beat Jono, isn't it?
Very happy indeed. All right, when we look at Melbourne and we have a look at the scoreline out of tonight, 7 goals, 11. They were woefully inaccurate, particularly early, Joey.
Yeah, they were. They didn't take their chances, and they had plenty of them. They lacked a bit of composure, particularly early in the game and at stages throughout when they did get good looks. I mean, players, Cozzy Pickett, I think, kicked the 1-goal free. That was an advantage that was going to go to Bailey Fritsch, 40 metres out, straight in front. I mean, even some of Bailey Fritsch's misses, who's one of the best kicks in the competition for goal, had an off night. So when it's a low-scoring game like this, King, you've got to make the most of it.
Well, they were coming hard, and that kick there, it was an emotional letdown for Melbourne at that stage. That would have got them, within just about 8 points with about 8 minutes to go. So they left a few out there, but I did think Collingwood's back six was so good and give them low percentage opportunities from 40 plus from goal.
Chase, what about the performance of the Demons skipper, Big Maxi? 27 disposals at one point. It really did look like him against Collingwood.
Well, he was the gun midfielder. I mean, we're so used to the big numbers from Oliver and Viney and Petrarca when he plays in there, but it was Big Max. And the longer the game went, the better he got. He got worked over early, and he probably took that, as a real sting to his pride. He came out in the second half and genuinely started to dominate. Some of his hit-outs were to space to really open the game up. He took a heap of marks. He started to grab everything that came his way. He out-bodied the big men from Collingwood. He worked around the ground. I mean, that tap there is full of class. He covered the ground, and his hands, when he needs them, they just stick. I thought his performance was outstanding.
And for a lot of the night, Collingwood tried to go around him. They went just short of him time and time again. They kicked wide to the boundary line and took the stoppage rather than giving Max a chance to mark it. So to have 27 just ridiculous.
It was phenomenal, but again, I think the way Melbourne played allowed Gawn to have so much influence because it was a lot of keeping the ball skinny side, playing a bit slow, kicking long to contests like this. So in an ideal world, if Melbourne played a bit more up-tempo and with a bit more speed on the ball, you probably go past Max Gawn a little bit more and you probably get better looks inside 50.
Petrarca, after a really slow start, eventually got some big numbers as well.
He did. He's a proud player. He was enormous in that second half.